Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tom Bonnie, and thanks for always coming back to watch my videos. If you're first time, thank you for coming to watch and welcome to my channel. So today I will be talking about the interview questions for senior carers, support workers here in the UK. The answers I will be giving are answers that I will be answering if I were to be interviewed today for a healthcare assistant position. Okay, now it is not this a standard or the best answers for these questions. Okay, and when you get the questions, you digest it in on your own, and then look um look for the best way to answer it. The essence of this is for you to have an idea of what type of questions are being asked during interview for healthcare assistant positions. Okay, and the first one that you always well, before I continue, I've got my laptop here, so most times I'll be looking down this way. Please pardon me, because I'll be reading some questions out and then try to answer them at the same time. Okay, and the first thing you should expect from most employers is the first question is usually this: why have you applied for this position? What attracted you to this position? Of course, you should know why you're applying for the position. This is the job you've been doing. You like providing care to people. You derive It's your passion to do this, and when you saw the advert online, you were happy to apply, and then you applied for this job. You can state some qualities like you are empathic, you are hardworking, you have great communication skills, you've done similar jobs before, you work perfectly in a team, you're a great team player. Okay, stuff like that. All right. They might ask you what are your roles? Do you understand your roles? Of course, before you do that, you have to read what your roles are in the job specification when you apply. Okay, so of course, you should be able to provide wonderful service to the service users. Service users are patients. Okay, you can use service users, you can use patients. Ability to work in a team, ability to give care to individuals, patients, understanding personal care. These are your roles. There are so many of them. It's very easy. You can read it up from the job specification of the job you're applying. They will always tell you what your roles are. Okay, again, what's the next thing? Another very likely question is they will ask you what are their values, the company's values, or what is their motto, or tell them about the company. Of course, you should read about that as well. It's very important. It's always provided for you when you apply. So these questions, at least if you're able to tackle these questions, that are always the first ones, you're already feeling settled during the interview. You're already being sent in, kind of. Okay, and your interviewer should be very happy and know that this person is prepared and knows what he or she is doing. Okay, again, they might also ask, what would you do if one of your patients is aggressive or verbally abusive to you? What would you do? You remain calm, try to be empathic with the patient. The patient might be in pain, and just a way of vetting it out. You might lash out on you, becoming aggressive and all that. And then you can also try to question why the patient is behaving in that manner towards you. Okay, and then at the end of the day, if it gets worse, you escalate it to the management. Maybe you report it to your senior or to your manager. Okay, so this is a way to answer the question if I were to be asked this question. What would you do if a patient told you they want to report the care home you are working in to authorities? What would you do? Okay, try to, speak with the patient and ask what the issue is, what the problem is. And then you of course, you're not going to stop the patient from reporting, but you're going to advise the patient on the proper procedure of complaint, the steps to follow to complain. And at the same time, you also try to escalate this to your manager, to your senior, and tell them what's going on. Okay. And when writing notes for your service users, what should you bear in mind whenever you're writing anything? Maybe you're making a report, or you're writing an incident, or you're writing a care plan of a service user. What should you bear in mind when doing this? First of all, you should know that you should be very attentive whenever you are doing this, very focused, so that you don't get distracted. Try to write things as they are. Do not try to do not report things that you did not witness. Okay. Also use simple English to write so that anyone can read and understand it immediately. Always, if it's handwritten, if you're not typing it, try to be legible so that people can read what you're writing. These are simple questions, simple questions, simple answers. You just need to think. Just give them, logical answers, meaningful answers. Okay. And then you also need to, at the end of any time you've written anything, you need to sign and write the date. Okay. Sometimes what some people do, depending on how serious that is, they always like to, maybe if they're sending an email to someone, they always like to copy themselves. Of course, you have a copy, or copy several people in the care home, maybe your manager, the assistant, so you have some evidence that you've done this and that it was documented, and then there are people that know that you did this. Okay. Now, they might ask you about communication skills. Maybe they will say, tell us about a time that you settled a dispute, something like that. Now, one other trick when answering questions during interview is this: always try to give examples. Okay, always try to give examples, because you've done this work before. Always try to craft some examples from your previous roles, even if you've not done it. Imagine a place. What would you do if you're in this setting? What would I have done? And then give an example. Take, for instance, in this question, and then maybe how have you settled a dispute? Be like, in my last place of work, two service users were exchanging words, and then I had to come in and settle that. So what I did then, already you're giving an instance of what happened. So you're telling us a life story. You're giving us, this is no more fiction. Okay. Now ask them to sit down, try to calm them down, then listen to both parties, what happened, and then I tried to give solutions. Okay. Now at the end of the day, you say what happened, what the the result of what you did. Did you achieve anything? Did you stuff like that? You're telling a story that actually happened. At the end of the day, these patients, they calm down, they hug themselves, they saw who was wrong and who wasn't wrong, and how to do things better the next time. Then everyone was happy. Now you've used your communication skills to settle a dispute. You've restored peace back in the home. You've prevented people from fighting or breaking properties in the care home or in the company or in the hospitals. Probably prevented people getting injured, not just them, other service users, even staff as well. Okay, so this is perfect way, good way of answering questions like this. Always give examples. Okay, how would you treat, talk to someone that has dementia and is always confused and all that? You have to remain calm, focused. must always empathize with these people. Try to put yourself in their shoes. They are old people who maybe can't help themselves. So when you empathize with them, you're already speaking with them in a lovely way. Try to remain calm and focused. I've mentioned that. Always try to distract them. Maybe if there must be something that they love doing when they are maybe younger, or even when they are older. Some of them might like watching some TV series or some programs on TV, or some might like reading papers. Some might like just walking around the garden. You can take them out for a walk, and then this will just help them to settle. Okay. Also, you need to have some knowledge about dementia and all that. Okay. So, if you see a resident that is angry, what would you do? Okay. Just similar situation, you should also remain calm, because the best way to handle situations is when you are calm. If you are escalated and if you are flared up and angry at the same time, you probably not handle it the best way. Try to remain calm, try to distract these people, try to know why they are angry, and then try to put them back in the best state, calm them down when you are calm. That's where, if a resident just died in your care home, maybe during your shifts, and then maybe the family members just arrived, how would you talk to them? How would you approach them? How would you, relate to them? Now, the best thing to do in this case is to treat the family with respect and empathy. Okay, when they've lost someone they love, member of their family, best thing you can do is treat them with respect and with empathy. Okay. And if a resident likes attention, there's so many people that you see in the care home. Okay, a service user likes attention in your home, and is always crying whenever someone passes the room just to get attention. What would you do? Of course, you are not going to ignore them because you know that they are seeking for attention. You have to give them that attention. Yes, that's why you're there. And you always try to check on this patient, on this service user. Okay, try to check on them regularly. Try to talk with them, tell them stories. Have conversations with them. They will probably tell you how they used to live when they were younger, maybe places they've traveled. Just talk stories, but don't reveal personal details about yourself. Okay. And then if there is actually a reason for the patient crying, maybe they are fallen off the bed or something, you just need to escalate this. Tell your manager, tell your senior what has happened, and then document it as well. Okay. Now, your shift ends in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then someone that will be taking over from you hasn't arrived yet. What would you do? Okay, because you are not going to leave the shift, because leave the resident just on their own without having someone to look after them. At the same time, you're not going to keep working the whole day, even when you're tired. So, what would you do in this situation? So, of course, you're going to maybe offer to do some extra hours just to cover for some time. Maybe the person is running late, or the person has called in sick or something like that. And at the same time, you need to tell your manager or tell who is supposed to be informed, so that they can make arrangements and get someone else to come and cover. So by the time they are making these arrangements, this is the time you've offered to cover for some time before someone comes in. Okay, so this is also an attribute of being team player, trying to cover for your teammates, your colleagues when they are not available, and then also looking after the patients who wouldn't know why someone is not in the care home, why this is happening. Okay, so that's a very good attribute. Now, what would you do? What do you think? Okay, I've talked about this one. Tell me of a time that you solved a problem without direct supervision. Okay, now you have to talk about your ability to use your own initiative. Okay, you have to be creative. One of the qualities that these people will be looking out for are people that are creative, people that can work on their own. One of the trainings you should be doing in the care certificate, the MVQ, is lone working. Okay, and you should be able to work on your own, take decisions in the best interest of the care home and the service users as well on your own without direct supervision. So talk about a time you've done this using your own initiative to solve problems. Okay, and then talk. Of course, you should be very hardworking and all that. Just talk about that. What did you enjoy most about your last job? Of course, maybe your current work. If you're still working, at the time of your interview, talk about what you enjoyed most. So, one good example is to talk about your roles in your past places, or the past place you've worked, and talk about the challenges, because these challenges most times are part of the things that make you even enjoy this. Because when you are challenged, you try to think about, how do I do this differently? How do I face this next time if it comes up? The ability to think about all this brings out the fun in the job. Talk about then the places you've instances, situations you've been able to arrest, stuff like that. Talk about things that made you, talk about the reason, why you like the job. That is when you're mentioning your roles, you like to provide care and all that. Meeting people always is one of the things you love, because new residents keep coming in almost every day. You see you see different views of life from different people. These are interesting things about being a carer, because you meet people every day, even not people that are not service users. You meet their family members as well. Some of them are friendly, some of them you discuss with them, they tell you stuff. These are exciting things about the job. Okay, okay, what motivates you? Let me ask you this question: what motivates you? So, say working with people, working in the social care, working in a care home, working with elderly people, working with young people, working with people with learning disabilities, ability to, because you are helping them in their day-to-day activities, just the satisfaction that you are helping someone else achieve what they can't do just on their own. That gives you the whole motivation that you need. Okay, so it's one good way of answering such questions. How would you cope when someone dies in your care home? Maybe probably you are doing your shift, and then a resident dies or something. How would you cope? Communicate with your colleagues, communicate with your manager, utilize the support network. There are usually support networks are around. It could be your friends, it could be your colleagues, and also see if probably sometimes this resident might be very close to you, or it happens. You might have had maybe the person might have been, you've worked there for maybe 2 3 years, and the resident has been there all this while. Sometimes there is this friendship, they are human beings. Hello. Okay, now sometimes you might have been very close to this person and then you lose the person. Sometimes you just feel like you've lost a family member and all that. You can discuss this with your manager, get your support bubbles around and all that. So it's a way of coping. Okay, the role of care assistant can be very demanding. How do you feel about providing personal care? Personal care means changing the pampers. Sorry, not pampers. Changing the pad of your service users. Sometimes depending on where you work, this is what you'll be doing almost on daily basis. Yeah, especially if you work in a care home. So how do you feel about that? Okay, talk about your previous roles, that this is what you've been doing, and then you do not feel indifferent or you don't feel uncomfortable doing this because you understand that this is one of your roles and you've done this over the years. You've gotten, so it's part of your daily activities. You don't feel uncomfortable doing that, and then you also understand that they need to be changed anytime they are incontinent, okay, or anytime they are wet, the parts are wet, they need to be changed. It's your role to do that. Okay, talk about always give examples. Talk about when you've done it before in your previous places or place of work, as the case may be. Okay, talk about a time when you face stress in your workplace. Okay, now you should talk about recent situation. When I always tell you, always keep giving example. Don't get tired of giving example, especially whenever it's possible that you can do that. Don't just give example for giving example's sake. Okay, talk about when this happened in your former place, when you've been stressed, you've been probably maybe you guys were short staffed or something like that, and then what did you do when you're stressed? You just do some fun things that make you happy. You can go to the garden, relax, talk with people. Of course, you might need to inform your manager or whoever that is your senior that you're stressed and maybe you need some time off. By time off, I mean maybe you need some break, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes break, just to ease off and get some strength back. Okay, so it's a very good way of answering such question. Describe a time when you adjusted quickly to changes over situations. Okay, again, give an example, and they just want to know how you work. They just want to know how you work, how whether you are open for some changes, whether you are open for excuse me, whether you are flexible enough during working hours, how flexible you are. Okay, sometimes sometimes a care home might have they might have like 5 branches around, and then they might have to move you from this particular branch to go and cover them somewhere else. How would you feel about that? They might ask you something like that. Then you just need to tell them it's still the same care that you're providing. It's the same different service user, but it's still the same job role. So you don't feel indifferent about that. It's very happy to do that as long as you're providing care for service users. Okay. Now describe the working environment of your current job or your past job. Okay, this time just always try to emphasize how resilient you are, how hardworking you are, how you can work under pressure. You can give example here, ability to work under pressure, you pay attention, you always try to read, especially when you come to a new place. You always try to read the care plans of patients so that you know the needs of these patients. Okay, so if someone that doesn't eat solid food, you already know in time, so you don't give them solid food to avoid the incidence of choking or something. Okay, if someone that doesn't drink hot tea, hot coffee, or hot drinks, you know that. So these are the things you do. They know that you are actually very, very meticulous and very, very into your job, and you know what you're doing. When for someone that does all this, okay, so it's very, very important. Describe yourself. Okay, they might ask you this question to describe yourself. Describe yourself as very hardworking individual, someone that is resilient, someone that's tenacious, one that maintains. You, of course, you should be one trick. Always be smiling during your interview. Try to smile throughout, even if you have no reason to be smiling. Keep smiling. Okay. Describe yourself as someone that likes to support resident. Always try to streamline your answers to the role that you're going for. Do not get carried away. Okay. Someone that likes caring for people. Someone that likes providing support to people. Someone that is hardworking, someone that likes developing himself or herself. Because while you are working in the care home, they might be providing you with some trainings, and they would like you to, further. Sometimes you might progress to level of senior carer, even becoming a nurse. There are someone that moved from care HCA to senior carer to a nurse, and then to a manager. Okay, it happens. So they like people that like to progress. They like you, and they will always support you. So tell them that you're open for progress. Then at the end of your interview, they might ask you, do you have any questions for us? Then don't say no. Don't say no. Say yes, you have questions for them. Okay, even if you don't have any other thing to ask, just ask them. If you join their team, what's the plan? Because you are looking at yourself to progress. How will they support you to progress in your career? Okay, it's like I mentioned, they like someone that wants to progress. Ask them this question, and they'll be very happy to answer. And ask any other question that you want to ask them, but don't go and start asking, how much will you pay me if I do extra job? Stuff like that. So, the money they will pay you won't change if you ask that question. The money has been budgeted for, it's been discussed, the band is there already. Okay, you don't need, you even know the figure they will pay you before then. Okay, so that's it. And during your interview, I hope that you get the best composure and answer the questions perfectly. I wish you success. Always subscribe, like, and share our videos. Comment on the comment section. And thanks for watching. My name is Tom Bunny. Love you all.